Hello, Professor Bright here, and welcome to the Sunless Skies. It's finally escaped early access, and I am quite excited to be starting our little journey through the skies, captaining this locomotive, finding new and horrifying things. But first, for the uninitiated, the Sunless Skies is a narrative-focused game primarily. Technically, it is a top-down shooter/traitor, but the reason you're doing everything is to experience more of the story, to get more hints about the world, how everything works, and, well, it's a game better experienced than explained, so let's dive in. And first choice we have is if we want to be a legacy of captains exploring the far reaches and, finding out what's out there. Or we could be one incredibly durable captain that can keep alive indefinitely. Thing is, I'm more inclined towards a legacy of captains. I think that makes for a better story overall. You know, memories of captains lost and captains... Hey. This is new. Oh, I can't make this harder? Oh, okay. Interesting that the difficulty just gives you control over these, but, well, very well. Those are actually the difficult things about the game. Aiming, dodging projectiles, and consuming supplies. So, yeah. If you're going to do a difficulty setting, that's how to do it. Couldn't really do an easy, medium, and hard mode towards this. Ooh, new loading screens. Huh. Like I said, it escaped early access, and I'd played the early access before. You can find those elsewhere on the channel. So, a few things are going to be new. And the Pelennor? Is that a name I should know? Oh, a log of Her Majesty's locomotive, the Orphean, March 14th of 1905. Ooh, fancy. Our expedition to the domains of the dead has been eventful. The Orphean is damaged and in grievous need of repairs and supplies. We're returning in haste to the Reach, where I hope to make port at New Winchester. May God be with us, for 1,000 deaths wait in the sky. Final entry of Captain Amelia Charity Whitlock, DCM, written shortly before her death. That's worrisome. Ooh, we got like an intro. Huh. Like an intro cutscene going on? I hear some industrial noises. I'm curious about. Oh, wait, I know that noise. Ooh. Blue Kingdom Transit Relay, and it looks severely damaged, judging by this. Huh. We have a new little intro sequence here. You've returned to the Reach, an untamed, sunless span of the heavens, London's new frontier, a celestial garden run wild. Okay. It's a new way of doing things. Your journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tumultuous. Your locomotive is crippled and Captain Whitlock badly wounded. Oh, so that was us in that little bit of text there. Oh dear. As first officer, the crew look to you. The nearest station is New Winchester. Can you get their Orphean there safely? I mean, what is safe, right? Like, I can probably pull it off. I mean, some of these guys might not survive, but there we are. Much to the relief of your stokers, you find a barrel of fuel among the detritus. Thank God, need that desperately. Wreck drifts here, less fortunate even than you. We should scavenge her for repairs. And yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I mean, we do have 50% health, and I usually go with less than that, but yeah, let's get some repairs here. The wreck hangs in the sky, pocked with recent gunfire. You and the boarding party don your sky suits, garments of waxed canvas, lined with felt to protect against the cold of the sky. Two of the crew are whispering as they dress. What business did Captain Whitlock have in the Blue Kingdom anyway? Why the devil do we trespass on the districts of the dead? You silence him. Now's not the time. I think now is the time. I would like to know. I have questions. Several questions. Leap across to the wreck. The gap between the two engines isn't wide, but the endless fathoms of heaven gape beneath it. Yes, this is what space is like in the Fallen London universe. It's very denser than in our reality. Leading the way, you jump. Your stomach lurches with vertigo as the stars blaze above you and below. The air of the heavens is thin and torn by unpredictable winds. Then your boots hit the running board of the Ozymandias, and your leather-gloved hands fumble for a hold. One of your companions throws you a line, and you lash the two engines together. Only then do the rest of the boarding party follow you. One of them forces open an exterior hatch, and you clamber inside. And here's the, well, I would say one of the main mechanics. You have certain skills that give you different options, and, well, it doesn't give you options, it gives you a chance of succeeding at different options. Interesting choices. But first, her interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with wind. Your party's lamps spread buttery light over the narrow, paneled passages. You make your way towards the hold, stepping over bodies crumpled in the corridor. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. A bulkhead has been mangled inward by a well-aimed barrage. Yeah, I don't like the idea of clearing the obstruction away. For one thing, I'm not much of an irons person. I'm more of a veils. But, I feel like the whole thing would crash down if if that's a load-bearing length of pipe and we screw up. So yeah, lead the party on a more precarious path. Go back onto the Ozymandias' hull, climb past the blockage, and enter through a window on the far side, and do so carefully. I mean, all we're risking is the lives of me and my entire crew. Go with it. And we succeeded. Wonderful. I wonder if that's guaranteed to succeed. Or if it's actually just, well, I suppose it doesn't matter at the moment. The rest of the boarding party follows you without enthusiasm. You recall the first time you climbed outside an engine, helping the captain fix a leak in an exterior pipe. The wind had shrieked, buffeting at you. You asked the captain what would happen if you slipped. You fall, she answered, tersely. But where to, you asked? She looked down, then up, then back. The sky's depths spiraled all around you. Away, she said, and you heard her fear. Back in the present, you tumbled back into the Ozymandias through a shattered window. Your party spilling after you, glad to be back inside. You've reached the Ozymandias' hold, a ruin of smashed cargo and spilled supplies. Hopefully, somewhere amidst the detritus, you can find parts to repair the Orpheon and restock your stores. Conduct a thorough search. Your companions work quickly. The Ozymandias' hull has begun to creak. Your actions on board may have compromised its integrity. I mean, we just broke in through a window. Should be fine. Renewed. You find enough food and gear to restock your supplies, enough spare parts to make the necessary repairs to the Orpheon. The food will need to be thoroughly thawed, of course, but you've eaten worse in the skies. "Aho!" cries one of your party, prying the lid off a long crate. It holds a cannon, still nestled in straw. Another crewman pulls a battered bird cage from a pile of ruined cargo. Within the cage, something winged and furred opens a sullen eye. You examine your finds. Ooh, plenty of rations. Good, good, good. Oh. The Ozymandias emits a long, juddering creak. Your boarding party exchange nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies, and discovered some useful equipment, a gun that could be mounted on your locomotive, and an educated bat. Her own weapons were damaged during your flight from the Blue Kingdom. That leaves you vulnerable. I'm sorry, I've been going around without weapons? There are monsters here. Mount that. Mount it right now. Put that cannon on my train. Locomotive, technically, but that's neither here nor there. The Coterel and Hathersage Jerusalem fires single shells to a good range, more or less accurately. You order two of your party to get back to your vessel and fit it immediately. The Ozymandias groans again. The structure shudders spasmodically. Good thing I didn't quite notice. You can claim both this and the cannon. I mean, I had priorities. The heavens are wide, so locomotives use scouts, like bats, to locate things of interest. Ports, resources, wrecks like this one to scavenge. The bat treats its rescue as an inconvenience and immediately begins haggling over pay. You offer to put it back in its damn cage and leave it on the Ozymandias, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it will last. The Ozymandias emits a low, long, juddering creak, and we've read this before. Press on to the engine room. You might find more fuel there, but you'd better hurry. The Ozymandias is beginning to tear apart. You'll abandon anything you have not yet claimed from the hold, but I've claimed everything, yes? Curious. The wreck of the Ozymandias screeches as its metal buckles and tears. You press on through the shuddering corridors, searching frantically for the engine room. Now, here's the thing. I'm not much of a hearts kind of person. I'm more of a mirrors. I like investigating and knowing things. Learning things, I should say. But I'm also inclined to sacrifice others for my benefit. I don't know, I'm torn. Gonna go with the mirrors, though. Go yourself and conduct a hasty search. Send the rest of the boarding party back to the Ozymandias. Go on alone. Not my best choices, but we're making it. And we succeeded. Wonderful. In the nick of time, the wreck's engines are choked with old ash. You search swiftly, aware of every creak in the bulkhead, every tremble that runs through the dead locomotive. Finding several sacks of coal, you drag them to an exterior hatch and fling them across to the Orphean before leaping after them. Unshackling your locomotive from the Ozymandias, you stoke your engines and steam away, restocked, refueled, repaired, and rearmed. Most importantly, rearmed. Sure. Send out our scout. Got no problem with that. Alright, scout returns. Okay, gonna hide advice instead of disabling, just in case there's some mechanic I don't know about. Something that might have been added. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a hodgepodge of curios from across the sky. Captain Whitlock lies in bed. Black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand. When she coughs, coils of acrid smoke pour from her lungs. Ooh. So heads up, I've read, well, I said read, played Fallen London and Sunless Sea. A lot of reading involved in that. So there are a few things I'm aware of, and this sounds like one of them. Inquire after the captain's injuries. The Locomotives doctor attends her. His lips are tight. A word of living fire pursued the Orphean across the Blue Kingdom. Curious. It caught you just before you passed through the transit relay to the Reach, and set its brand upon the captain. It's burned itself right through her, the doctor whispers. When I closed the worst of her wounds, I could see the sign is seared into her bones and her organs. Judging from her symptoms, it's on the inside of her lungs, too. Sounds like correspondence to me. The captain leans to one side and vomits a plume of fire into a copper bowl. There's nothing the doctor can do. Yep, definitely correspondence. Although very violent. Back underneath the setting of Sunless Sea, there's a lot of things I'm probably going to have to explain. We won't do it now. But back there, these were less violent. I mean, your hair would light on fire if you read it, but it didn't, burn through you quite like this. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a hodgepodge of curios. When she coughs, coils of acrid smoke pour from her lungs. Very upsetting for her, I'm sure. Approach the bedside. The captain opens her eyes as you draw near. She attempts to smile. Oh dear. Her mouth is blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. Her hand grips your arm. Her skin is hot as a kettle. Made arrangements. The Orphean will be yours. Her voice is just a rasp of burned meat breath. Ugh. But promise. She breaks off to scream a word in a language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she is weaker. Her request a little more than a gasp. Promise me one last service. Promise. I mean, I'm sure it's not contagious. Probably. Hopefully. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not inclined to promise dead people. She's dying. She's clearly dead. So why promise her anything? Might be comforting, I suppose. That would be a good reason. But then, I wouldn't find out why we went to the Blue Kingdom in the first place, and I really want to know. It was folly to visit one of the lands of the dead. Now you're all paying the price. That sounds like I'm blaming her. I'm just curious. So why? Why did we go here? Why are your internal organs on fire? She laughs, a sound like wood snapping on the fire. Ash sprays from her mouth. It was worth it, she swears. Her voice is suddenly firm, her eyes hard and bright. Then she sinks back into the scorched pillows in a twisting, frantic fever. Right, you say. That has implications. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with a hodgepodge of curios from across the sky, as they always have been. Take your leave, you have an engine to command. You leave the captain and the scorched stink of its air behind, and return to the bridge. New Winchester is further than you like, and the captain hasn't long left. Oh, no, I'm not dealing with that. Oh, I can break these? That's cool. Yeah, gonna have to remember some old combat tactics. Yeah, try that again, but differently, though. No, shit. Okay, not good. Not in a good position right now. There we go. Don't need repairs, fortunately. I mean, kind of. You approach the buckled wreckage, poised to plunder the plunderers. Behind you, someone's humming a song of victory. Raid the remains. Marauders pillage homesteads and hunt travelers all across the Reach. They often carry stolen valuables. And ill-gotten gains. Your boarding party returns with wallets and watches, cufflinks, lockets, and keepsakes. You store them in the safe to be pawned when, if, you make it back to port. Hey! We are definitely making it back to port. At least to New Winchester. Probably. Definitely. I'm positive. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're gonna make it there just fine. It's just a straight way over there. Unless there's more, barriers in the way that we're not aware of. Oh, see, we're already in civilized space that apparently just had marauders around, so that's worrisome. Also, I need to stop doing that. I need to stop hitting things. Wispy condensation trails across the sky, the ghosts of passing trains. Ah, New Winchester, you delightful location. It's the hub of the Reach, and I am looking forward to figuring this out. Arrival at New Winchester, you coast into the bustle, the din, the soot, and the steam of Wolvesey Station. It's clogged with other engines, scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers gleaming with frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the siding than a brusque station master bustles over. He requests to come aboard. I must speak with your captain, he insists, brandishing a ledger. Usual formalities. A look to the doctor. He's just appeared at your shoulder. His face is solemn. His hat is in his hands. He lowers his eyes. The crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. The Orpheum itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that, unfortunately, Captain Whitlock has just passed. Ah, he says neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad, very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Alas, even amidst tragedy, the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the station authority requires their answers from the first officer. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It'll be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall we begin? Of course. Oh, that's the end of the intro. Okay, now to create our captain. Today, London lies between the stars. Her new empire unfolds across the heavens. But 10 years ago, before the Northern Gate was opened, before the renewed Empress led her people into the skies, it lay in a vast cavern far beneath the earth. Deep, dark, marvelous. Who were you then? If we're being technical, I was a sailor. Captain, technically. But, that's neither here nor there. My name's Professor Bright, so an academic, of course. A student of the sciences, the arts of philosophy, less so than the other two. You're an academic. Perhaps you were educated at one of the esteemed colleges of Benthik or Somerset. Perhaps you taught yourself through trial and error and grit. Ooh, the choices. I, myself, am inclined towards the practical sciences. But then, the language of the heavens, they call it the correspondence, the oldest of alphabets. It's maddening, revelatory, and occasionally inflammatory. Literature, well, I'm not inclined towards that. I like reading, I don't like classic literature, not my thing. Although, once the most indulgent of studies, now the most seditious, the Ministry of Public Decency has gutted the libraries. An unfortunate event. I am inclined towards one of these two, and I don't know which one to choose. I'm gonna go with the language of the heavens. Of the things I would want to study, engineering, chemistry, and anatomy are great and all, but the correspondence is what killed our captain, so... Or at least I suspect. I should phrase it that way. Oh? Even the stars have secrets, but they won't keep them from you. A message from an old friend begins an unwise quest to learn a secret that the stars hide. What drives you? Curiosity? Justice? Insolence? Whatever it is, it will be tested. I suppose. Best played by a lineage that's already completed wealth or fame. Fair. I don't want to dive all the way in, plus we don't know how long this captain will last. So... wealth is probably the easiest. Fame, I don't know the requirements for. So I'm curious. Let's go with that. You'll immortalize your exploits in the Song of the Sky. For centuries, people have launched themselves into the unknown in the hope of making a name for themselves. You're sure you'll succeed. After all, you never heard of anyone who didn't. Clever. Ooh, I like this. I like this beard. Not a big fan of the hair, personally, but let's see what we can do with that. Or, get him a hat. Everybody loves hats. You know what? Top hat. Everybody loves top hats. They're wonderful. And, oh, you know, perfect. Perfect. In fact, you are Professor Jonathan Bright. Yes. Continue. And let's go. I'm sorry, otherworldly artifacts open vaults in the Blue Kingdom? Thank you for informing me. I would like to know more about these vaults, though. No? I have an officer or perhaps a mascot. I do? You sure about that? 3 weeks have passed. This morning, Captain Whitlock received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to a necropolis train bound for the Serene Mausoleum. Now you sit with a handful of her relatives in the threadbare offices of her solicitors. A methodical notary is reading the will. The captain was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. Listen to the end. The captain's relatives, from whom she was mostly estranged, are clearly wondering why you are here. It's not very nice. In a final codicil... Codicil? The notary announces, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the Orphean was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry, grey eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the Orphean's hold. Curious. Captain Whitlock's final request was that, at a time of your choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card and deposit it there. You are not to look inside. She gave no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. The Orphean is yours. Okay. I mean, I'm definitely not going to sell it. I'm curious. I got a box. I want to know what's in it. Well, first of all, we should... Yes, officers are useful because they do increase your skills, so the first thing we should do before anything else, get ourselves another officer. Apparently I already have one, though. I'm curious about that. Recruit the incautious driver. I specialize in test driving. I'm looking for something quieter. The driver indicates a crashed engine, still smoking. Like that, without the screaming, though. What harm can it do? I mean, crashed engine, still smoking. And apparently screaming. But, how much do you cost? 20 sovereigns? I've got plenty. This is a bad idea. I feel bad about this decision. The driver boards, eager to get started. I recently parted ways with the Windward company, they explained. Personally, I think a crash a week isn't so bad. They disagreed. Oh well, live and learn. Oh dear. Well, I say. Oh dear. I mean, I want to investigate the black box, but before we go any further, an opportunity. The fastidious inspector. Excuse me, Captain. A woman pushes through the crowds towards you. She's short and square-shouldered in a neat black suit and polished shoes. She shows you the case of her pocket watch. It's embossed with a crown and hourglass of London's horological office. The body responsible for ensuring time is consistent across the empire. I'm hoping to book passage to Port Prosper, she says, slipping the watch away. I can, of course, pay. Offer a passage. Pay sounds promising, and why not? Well, thank you. The locomotive I was on broke down following a boiler rupture. Chief engineer's fault, I suspect. A gentleman fonder of brandy than of diligence. Here, an initial sum to seal our bargain. Prosper lies to the east of New Winchester. Okay. Easily done. But now this black box, tell me about it. Captain Whitlock left it to you in the hold of the Orphean. Her will described it only as a black box, a description you consider to be an unhelpful understatement. It's a casket of black basalt, longer than you are tall, unadorned with a single small recess that contains a keyhole. Curious. The thing must weigh most of a ton. Very curious. It stands upright in a corner of the hold where the crew have pushed it out of the way. Consider what to do with it. Or better yet, when did Captain Whitlock acquire the box? It was the subject of speculation among the crew. Captain Whitlock had it brought on board just before your ill-fated expedition to the Blue Kingdom. It was empty then, you know, because you saw the lid and the box carried on board separately and assembled in the hold. It's not empty now. It is sealed, and even heavier than before. But he left for the Blue Kingdom shortly after the box was delivered, and made no stops on the way. So whatever's inside the box now, Captain Whitlock found in the Blue Kingdom. That's concerning. Apparently the Blue Kingdom is the land of the dead, and that raises some questions. Oh. Well, we won't worry about exactly what that is, but I have theories, which we will discuss later, perhaps on a future episode. Right now, examine the box. It has the dimensions of a sarcophagus plundered from the tomb of some forgotten prince of Egypt. Closed fast, there are no carvings or inscriptions on it. The joint where the lid meets the body is too thin to admit even a knife blade. There are no holes by which light or air might find their way in. It's impossible to see inside without opening it. Even the keyhole has been engineered in such a way as to prevent peeking. The recess with the keyhole, though, as far as you can determine, that is a more recent addition to the box. The stone has been drilled and chiseled away to create space for a modern metal lock. Okay, so perhaps not. I'm thinking... I'm unclear exactly what it is. I'm certainly not selling the box as a curiosity. Consider what to do with it. What are my options here? Captain Whitlock had a specific request. Whether you obey it is up to you. The last request of Captain Amelia Whitlock was for the box to be transported to a specific address in London. Alternately, you could probably find someone willing to purchase it as a curiosity, and if you knew what was inside, you might be able to command a higher price. I definitely want to know what's inside regardless. That's a terrible idea. Yeah, just blow it up. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I think this is the direction I'm going to end up going. You know, I'm an academic, so obviously, yes. But that's a matter for the future. Right now, let me go to the bazaar. Yes. So basically the bazaar, for those of you, again, because I want to explain some things for new people. Basically, you can do trade just by going to shops and, like, buying, what's a good example? Yeah, buying verdant seeds or nostalgia crockery and then selling it here for a small profit. Might not even be much of a profit at all. But if you go to the bazaar, you can get opportunities to either buy something cheap or to sell something for a lot. In this case, we have seeds for Magdalene's. Magdalene's provides comfort and sympathy to the wary skyfarer. Its host will tell you any lie you need to hear. Some of those lies require flowers. The amenable host wants up to 3 sacks of verdant seeds and will pay 80 sovereigns for each. So yeah, easy way to double my money right there. Magdalene's lies to the northeast of New Winchester. Good to know. I'll take that. Hours for the circus's ringmaster. Wanted up to 5 barrels of unseasoned hours. Delivered to Ringmaster Palmer and Plenty's Inconceivable Circus, The Reach. Lies to the north of New Winchester. Okay, so I could... I still have to source them, but... yeah, we'll take that for now. Worst case scenario, we can always abandon it. And I'm inclined to drool over what I could potentially buy. Actually, with 156, what... Oh. These are expensive. Like, real expensive. But this will allow me to mine for things. This will allow me to butcher some certain creatures we kill. And I do believe that there is... oh, a sneeze lurker? I'm sorry, what? What? The secret of success in life is to be ready for opportunity when it comes. A mine favored by captains eager to bedevil pursuit. Oh, okay, that's intriguing. But no, there's also a saying which apparently I can't get access to from here. Basically, it's like examining something, essentially. We'll find those events out in the... not in the Neath anymore, in the high heavens. The Neath was the setting of Sunless Sea. Here we are elsewhere, and I made a mistake because I did not assign our officer to actually help me. So give me one moment. Q? Yeah. And I suppose we should explore the city, of course. Probably would have been a good idea. More importantly, though, you, before I forget again. You are now my chief engineer, for better or worse. This is probably for worse, but, well, here we are. You know, disable this advice for now. I can always review tutorials later. Explore the city, the smoggy, clanking, singing, stamping, thronging, frantic heart of the Reach. Interesting. But yes, an ever-expanding port of soot-smudged glass and bright steel, spilling across a drifting, mist-wrapped archipelago. Its factories thunders, its engine sheds ring with hammers and hiss with steam. Locomotives chug into sidings for repair or flare across the sky and away into the high wilderness. Inquire about the Winchester War. How goes the war? The slow-burning war for the Reach forms the backdrop to daily life in New Winchester. Citizens wishing to keep up with the developments in the war turn to the New Gazette. It is, famously, the only newspaper worth reading in New Winchester, as well as the only paper that hasn't bankrupted itself. Its quality speaks for itself. Ooh. Read about the current political situation in the New Gazette. A careful analysis of the balance of power in the Reach. Who's in control exactly? The Assembly runs New Winchester from Victory Hall and seeks to strengthen its hand in the Reach. London's proxy, the Windward Company, however, maintain a considerable presence in the Reach. Although New Winchester is still neutral ground, tensions are mounting within and without the port. Yes, the war between the Tacketies and the Stovepipes. Anybody talking about me? What are they saying? I mean, I can't imagine yet, but someday. Name does not appear in any of the Tackety-focused reporting on the war. Apparently you're not considered worthy of comment. And I'm of no interest to the Stovepipes. Stovepipes being the loyalists, Tacketies being our little rebel friends. And when it comes to conflict, I'm kind of inclined towards the Tacketies. I don't know, I've got a soft spot for that. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for order, but at a certain point you have to let go. So let's go. There's some loud noises about train noises. Noises about trains. Noises that come from trains and engine yards, I should say. And hi. You. Victory Hall. Oh! Okay, so these are separate ports now. Yes, the Assembly, a coalition of independent-minded sellers, colloquially called the Tacketies, gather and argue here. Deliver port reports here to receive rewards and win the Tacketies' favor. You know what, why not? Raised in the wake of the blockade of New Winchester, this magnificence of glass and steel houses the Colonial Assembly. Here, representatives of the independent ports of the Reach gather and quarrel. Take a look around. The Tacketies, those settlers who want independence from London, may have work for a Skyfarer. They most certainly do. The music of democracy. Today, the chambers of Victory Hall echo with shouting. The Assembly is in session and outraged roars descended from the boardroom to the palatial lobby. A discreet functionary escorts you from the premises before you hear anything too juicy. You're a captain, aren't you? She inquires once you're safely outside. If you want to be of service, bring us news from other ports. The Windward Company have spies everywhere, and we need recent, accurate information of our own. Fair enough, fair enough. We'll come back when we have some information. And if this is here, then I suspect, if I were to send you out, or just wait 10 seconds, your owl settles on your bedpost and goes to sleep. Nothing to report then. Oh, I have my owl. Yes, because I pre-ordered, kickstarted the game. I got my little Cyclopean owl, who is essentially the same as the Diffident Bat, except, you know, less of a dick, I'm gonna say. Its opinion is clear. Go out there in this weather? Thank you, but no. I mean, I'm not keeping you around for your looks, dude. I'm keeping you around to go scout. That is your job, sir. Oh well. It hoots scornfully at your suggestions. It will eventually do as you ask, only because you clearly can't manage on your own. I swear. You know what? It's fine. It's all fine. One of you is going in the bank, though. I'm just gonna put you in a little bank vault where you can live out your days. Once I unlock that. The local headquarters of the Windward Company, London's proxy in the Reach, deliver port reports here to receive rewards and win the company's favor. Oh, wait. Comma. And then period there. Yes. I can read, honestly. Visit the Windward Company, though. Following the uprising, the fortunes of the Windward Company fell in New Winchester. Now their modest offers occupy the ex-tinning factory in the murkier recesses of town. It continues to smell, faintly, of beans. The Windward Company, who represent London's interests in the Reach, may have work for a skyfarer. I'll take a look around, why not? I'm inclined to help them, but I could be convinced. The offices are cramped, typewriters ring, assistants scurry between desks, beleaguered managers struggle to make themselves heard over the hubbub. Eventually, a harried assistant makes you a cup of tea. I'm afraid everyone's busy today, but if you want to make yourself useful, we always need up-to-date reports on events beyond New Winchester. Bring them straight here, though, not to... He nods out the window towards Victory Hall, where the Colonial Assembly gathers. That lot. Queen and country and all that, eh? I mean, Queen and country's all well and good, although I'm curious. Shops? You have a bazaar of your own? Oh my. I don't really have the money for this. It will still be here in 29 days, correct? Let me take one, at least. A whistling apiarist is selling fresh, or at least recent, chorister nectar, a versatile substance used variably as a sweetener, an intoxicant, and a tonic for the vocal cords. The apiarist seems jolly, though his tune is not. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and buy that. And since we have, let me go back to New Winchester, sell it there. And this will be a perfect demo of how these bargains work. Or if that was a bargain. I'm pretty sure it was a bargain, because it let me buy things. So, yes, but there's always the possibility. Actually, I don't think there is in this game a possibility of the bargains being more expensive or you losing money using them. Out of curiosity, though, do you have a bar... Oh, you both have the same... Okay, maybe... Well, I'm not clear if you both have the same opportunities as New Winchester or what that is about. But hey, we have some extra money, possibly. We'll find out in a moment. And docking. Now forget 200, this would be perfect. Yeah, I'm just gonna go to Victoria Market real quick. I got something to sell. Oh, just an extra 20. I mean, that's not terrible. There's better out there, but that's not terrible. And this bank, I would like to go to the bank, though. How would one do that? Also, how would I get back to the market from here? Just undock, then dock again. There we go. So, Wolvesy Station. One more time. Let's explore the city, see if there's anything we have. Oh, we did not go to the Promise of Days. Yeah, we'll go here, and then next episode we'll do more exploration. Yes, that sounds fair. A club where seasoned captains gather to trade stories and share advice with younger skyfarers. Old pistons gleam on the walls, the shelves are crowded with mementos from across the sky, like the mask. And the hair. The clientele raise their voices to be heard above the comforting clamor of the adjacent engine yards. Introduce ourselves to the seasoned captains. They're always happy to offer words of advice, sometimes many words. Four are gathered at their usual table: the masked citizen, a libertine, polymath, and pioneer of the neo-nocturnal artistic school; the bedeviled didact, a scholar haunted by his discoveries; the plucky baroness, explorer, collector, philatelist, and spatchcocker Meg, who hunts monsters. Of course, everything out here is jolly dangerous, says the baroness. Few risk the skies, so news of distant ports is valuable. Collect port reports from the places you visit and deliver them to Victory Hall or Company House. The more you turn in at once, the more they'll pay. And look for other opportunities on the way, advises the masked citizen. Passengers who want transport, rich men in need of bloody work, etc. Usual. Ask them how to make your fortune through trade, though I already know, for completion's sake, we might as well ask. Between them, they've carried Neveritine gemstones from Eleutheria, souls of the Blue Kingdom, and raw hours to London. Have they tips? Ah, the didact says, fiddling with his innumerable talismans. An essential topic. Meg slides you a stool, and the captains shuffle around to make room. The masked citizen buys you a drink of their own invention. It's violet and foggy. The plucky baroness gives you a brisk, encouraging grin. Ask away! Ask about markets, and how can you buy and sell goods. You can sell practically anything at a big trade hub like New Winchester, the baroness answers. If you want to buy, though, you'll need to travel to more distant ports. Each specializes in a particular export. That's changed then, because could have sworn I could buy multiple things elsewhere, but... Meg spits chewing tobacco onto the floor. No money in buying at market prices and selling at them too, though. You want to look for bargains, or prospects of people offering better money. Buy cheap, sell dear. Yeah, it even says here, lesser ports each sell a single good. I could have sworn I bought multiple goods elsewhere. But I could very well be wrong. It's been a while. Yes. Ask about prospects. Where might you learn of these opportunities? And I see something else there. The masked citizens sips their drinks. The biggest port in each region has a bazaar where captains do business. There you learn of people at other ports prepared to pay over the odds for a commodity. When you accept the commission for a prospect, it's yours. No other captain will pursue it. It's all fantastically civilized. Your smile is droll. You'll have to source the goods yourselves, of course, says the bedeviled didact. Find a port that exports them. The client will want a certain amount. You can supply some or all of it, but if you provide all they need, they may furnish you with an additional reward. Accept prospects at the bazaars of major ports, and maximum of 4. Reasonable. A trading opportunity. Ask them if they know of a good prospect available. Ooh. Okay, in point of fact, I do, says the masked citizen, tapping an elegant finger on their elegant glass. Those at Magdalene's needs an urgent delivery of seeds, which I have. Paying a pretty penny, too. If I were you, I'd get to the bazaar straight away, put my mark against it. Broker in Port Avon is selling cheap seeds. Chirpy chap. God knows why. His face looks like it's been pushed through a mangle. An opportunity. Port Avon lies to the southeast of New Winchester, and Magdalene to the northeast of New Winchester. Okay, so southeast. Okay. Or no. Sorry. It'll be southeast. Just be this direction. I've already done that, though. Although, could I get multiple of that? Oh. Ooh. Ask how to expand the prospects and bargains available to you. How to put this delicately, is there perhaps a way that a resourceful captain could prejudice circumstances in their favor? This is new. Nepotism. Meg laughs, a noise like a sneeze crossed with a ricochet. It ain't who you is, it's who you know, isn't it? Nepotism. She taps her broken nose. Quite, the masked citizen remarks. The wider your circles, the more advantageous the opportunities that will present themselves. A wise captain makes the most of them. Interesting. Rewarding bargains and prospects. Affiliations allow your next captain to inherit certain resources, should the unthinkable happen. Curious. Okay. So that's what affiliations are useful for. Good to know. Good to know, actually. Goodbye. Best be getting on. They bid you assorted variations of goodbye as you leave the smoke and hubbub of the promise. And I'm afraid it is time for me to bid you goodbye as well. We've got some paths forward. We're definitely going to be pursuing the matter of the fastidious inspector first, and we'll come back to some of these opportunities. Or perhaps we'll go to Port Avon. Haven't decided yet. We'll decide in the future. The ambition will wait for a little bit, get our bearings, do some exploration, and then we'll worry about the Song of the Sky and this black box, which I'm incredibly curious about. Would love to know what's inside. I mean, you can't just give me a black box and not expect me to break it open. That's just unreasonable. But, for now, thank you for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly. And I shall see you all soon. Very, very soon.